One. What's up, everyone? I got Darryl Taylor Kravitz is in the chamber with me. This is the first episode of In the Chamber. This is sort of a sideshow that I'm doing, as opposed to the metal block that I normally do, but I have that on hiatus until about late October because I'm working on a new season for that. And thought I'd do a show where it's like more inclusive with other different types of genres of music, art, topics. Later on, I want to maybe get into some crazy politics, maybe interview some Trumpers every now and then, get into it. But I want to welcome my first guest for the very first episode of In the Chamber is Darryl Taylor Kravitz. This man's done it all. He's worked for DC Comics. He's done comic books and written, and now he's doing music and plays, and he's a songwriter. He's like the Renaissance man of all jack of all trades. What's up, Darryl? And my good friend as well.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, how's it going, Eric? How's the weather over there?
It's a little rainy. It's finally we're getting some cool weather and some rainy weather. So I've been saying this. I've been wanting to record new music, but it's just been so hot, and it's hard to like hook up all the equipment, and then I'm sweating all over my guitar, and I can't put the fans on while I record. So now that it's getting nice and chilly and cold, I'm hooking up my studio. I'm going to get back into recording new music. So,
how long you been interviewing now?
Huh?
Oh, I'm interviewing you now.
Oh yeah, how long have I been where?
Maybe I should interview you one time.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, I've been just like I said, I've been just looking forward to cool down. I know you guys are getting some good rain over there where you're at. Where you at? Oh shit. Yeah, if anyone was seeing a little glitch because we had a little bit of a technical difficulty there, but I was in the middle of asking Darryl about his weather, and what I'm thinking is, from what I hear, you're up in Connecticut, right, or Vermont or Connecticut, one of the.
Vermont. I was in Connecticut for 8 years.
Okay, yeah. So you're still up in that area, and I guess it's pretty rainy right now, right? You guys are getting a lot of rain.
Yeah, well, actually, New York City's flooded.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
But Maine is going to get hit more so because it's on the coast.
Mm-hmm.
But we're like inward, next to New Hampshire. So we'll get some, but we're not gonna get the deluge that everybody else is getting.
Yeah, damn, it's crazy shit. So you've had a vast career. How old were you when you got the bug? What I say with the bug is like, how old were you when you got that? Like, okay, I'm a creative person. And I want to be this when I grow up, and I want to. Like, when did you actually start to notice that? At what age were you when you noticed that you were actually very talented at either writing or doing music or whatever?
Well, it actually starts because I had a stage mother back when I was 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I had acting lessons, tap dancing lessons, singing lessons, acting, singing, tap, and voice lessons from age fourth grade. But then the lessons, Catholic grammar school, this one nun was going to fail me because I was missing school going to auditions for New York City. And so I said, put me in public school. And they didn't, so they canceled it. But that had given me the bug of sorts.
Yeah.
I'd written like poetry. I started writing poetry, and then it was published in 8 local newspapers for 6 months. I had a column, the poem in each paper. And then I guess, it starts with like a ego gratification. Like,
yeah.
It gets upset. It gets upset.
That's true. Yeah, I was like 7 years old when I used to like to draw little comic strips, based on Mad Max, because I was a really big fanatic for Mad Magazine. I'm like 7 or 8 years old. I'm drawing little comic strips of, and then selling them to my friends for 10 cents a piece, and so that's kind of, I think that's when I really felt like, okay, I want to be this when I grow up. What's that?
Like the Viva, like the Sergio Argona stuff?
Yeah. Like the Sergio, what's his other name? The guy that did the Lighter Side of Life. Don. Yeah. And then Duck, Mort Drucker. I mean that was like my idol. Mort Drucker.
Did you know that actually the artist? I was wondering like who did Spy vs. Spy.
Oh yeah.
And actually, it's in Morse code.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his initials are in Morse
code. Oh yeah. Okay. I didn't notice that. That's a trip. So fast forward. So you got a lot of music going on too. Like, so you get a job at DC Comics. Obviously, you work on Scooby Doo. Like, how did that come about? Like, in other words, like when you got a, I would imagine you got hired for the job, right? But like, what does a contract like that look like as far as like getting paid for it and all that stuff? Like, uh,
Okay.
for a book like
Um,
that.
I had pitched Paul Davis at Kamiko.
Mm-hmm.
No, he was at Kamiko. He formed Millennium Comics, and I went to the Big Apple show,
Uh-huh.
and I had I had proposals, in ash cans, what have you. And
Yeah.
so he told me that, uh, Val, you're the guy that you sent me this pitch from before. I said, yeah, and we started talking, and then all of a sudden I had two contracts for that was chassis and Image and Inanimate. Then there was another one with Still Life, where objects have memories, which was like an anthology. And then like in my travels going to these different shows, I've met uh, Scott Neely. Scott Neely's the one who hooked me up with DC Comics. His editor, Mike Sigling.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he had been drawing it for like 10 years. And Mike gave. I mean, I've worked with a lot of people, and a lot of people. I'll tell you honestly, it was really interesting. I thought you'd have to like swallow goldfish or something as far as like to know all these guys.
Yeah.
These professionals doing it for years. And I'm just like
Uh-huh.
a newbie. I was asked to join Vixen Studios in Manhattan, which was actually centered one building over from this Empire State Building,
Uh-huh.
Manhattan. So we traveled around like to in the circuit. I think the only one we didn't do was Ohio. So it was uh, Orlando, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Chicago, San Diego. I think I'm missing one. Well, there was a couple of Jersey shows too.
Yeah.
Hometown.
Huh. So how many issues did you do of that of Scooby Doo?
I did eight. I
About
did
eight.
eight, and
Okay.
then we
Yeah. And then you kind of create your own like sort of like story for them. In other words, then you do something that was sort of innovative for that particular character that no one else did. I think I remember you telling me something about that.
I noticed it was always for with Scooby Doo. It was like Mr. So and so, the rubber mask is full of like you darn kids.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's like, wait a second, where's Batman and Joker thing? Why don't they have a competition? Why don't they
Uh-huh.
have a like like an evil team kind of thing? So I created the Golden Spyglass Award and the Sleuth Sister Club that comes from England. And that particular one, they made it into a graphic novel #2. They actually copied that last issue,
Yeah.
and that one I really wanted to come out. It took like 2 years for that to come out. Um, then I was like, well, why are you reprinting my stories? You got this whole bullpen of all these people. Why are you reprinting mine? Well,
Yeah.
because mine were Scooby and Shaggy become the heroes. It was like so formatted. You know, I, um, when I got the gig to pitch, which actually is like a paragraph. You write a
Mm-hmm.
paragraph of stories about 6 to 8 pages, 4 to 6 pages of telling that story. And so Mike Siegling calls me. He goes, "You're not going to believe this." Yeah, I said, "Why?" He goes, "This never happened before." I said, "What?" Because 5 of your stories have been approved for publication. This one,
Wow.
this one, this one. And I think I got like, I don't know, $85 a page. This script.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, I think I ended up with $3,200. But they were supposed to pay me on the residuals, but they never did. This is Warner Brothers, so
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. And then like so you go from Scooby Doo, you get out of the DC Comics. What happens? So you just say okay, and then you do this one called Vex 9. What is that? When did that come about?
Vixen Nine. Vixen Nine
Yeah,
came
Vixen
out.
9. I'm thinking Vex. You got Vex and you got Vixen 9.
Right. Vixen Nine was actually this girl accountant. It was with Rick Buckler Jr. Um, and that's
Hmm.
Greg Capullo
Yeah, I
Spawn.
love that Greg
Uh,
Capullo cover right there. He's one of my
yeah.
favorite artists.
Oh, Greg Capullo.
Yeah, yeah.
He got in trouble for doing it, I think.
Oh,
But
yes.
anyway, there was Rick's, but he ended up sending the boards to Peter Kravitz,
Yeah.
and he said, this is going to look really great in my living room, the cover. Well, it's my artwork. Give it back. I think he did a really dynamic cover.
Yeah.
And so he withheld one page from him.
Uh,
And so he never paid us.
oh,
So
okay.
it's like $2,500.
Damn.
We, judiciously split it somehow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Don't penalize me because it takes me easier to write it as opposed to you to draw it.
Mm-hmm.
Partners. Yeah, so that came out after Chassis.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I was going to ask you about that. What's Chassis about?
Chassis is about a girl rocket car racer in the 1940s in a world where World War II never happened.
Okay.
And so the concept, it started with, I had this project that I wrote called Skyline 54, which is about rocket car racing 54. And so I had to clusters through my characters in order for it to be a female lead, and I made it a retro feature, so like a steampunk of sorts. And Bill started trying to control it. Like by the third issue, he took it over, and then I said, "Look, I'm going to fold my hands. You're going to pay me anyway. You're Carbon Washington, so
Yeah, yeah.
buy me out." And then it became an image book, and then it crashed.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I have. And then he said, he called me one time. He goes, "Oh, remember those Steinmeier 54 clocks? Where are those?" It's like, "No, you paid for chassis, not my Steinmeier 54."
Yeah. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. So, and I got this book that you sent me, which and I love that it's autographed and everything. It's called Vex. Did that come out this year? Like, is that a book that you've had for a while and it's being reprinted?
Yeah, that's a promo. There's only 100 of those that were produced.
Oh yeah, okay.
And
It's
Bill
really well
Stein,
done.
Oh, he's going to be hearing this, so yeah, he's a
Yeah.
brilliant artist.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's a really brother friend of mine. His birthday was yesterday.
Oh, cool. Happy birthday, brother.
Yeah, at 47.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's a lot younger than I am, but he's like really talented. He told me because as you bond as friends and things, and telling me that when he was 19, he went to the Joe Kubert School of Art.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
They looked at his portfolio, and they asked him if he wanted to teach.
Oh yeah. Cool.
So I said, "You don't have that on your resume, and you don't tell me." That's star.
Yeah. It's a good storyline too. I'm like, is there going to be a book 2, or is there going to be an issue 2?
Actually, we're discussing it. He wants to do 4 issues, but he's black coloring the 4th issue. Everything's already done.
Yeah.
I already wrote it.
Yeah, it's a good story.
Graphic novel.
Okay.
So that's the graphic novel, and it'll have some sketch pages.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but that was a promo, and of course I would my good friend, my buddy over in
yeah. Hell yeah. I was happy to get that.
We both signed only 26 of them.
Oh, cool.
Out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I put it in my little the CLZ comic book app where I can actually log in all my collection. I was able to put that in there, and because I got this app where I got to go through all my boxes. I got like maybe 12 long boxes of comic books. I need to go in and you can scan it onto your phone and it goes into a collection. So I got about 500 scanned in right now, but I got probably like 3,000 or 4,000 to go. Books. It's crazy, man. Yeah.
You read of them.
Yeah, I read all of them. I'm about to read a new Spider-Man that just came in just today, so I'm about to read that when I get done with this. I'm an avid reader of Amazing Spider-Man, Spawn, Batman, Detective Comics, and the Hulk. Those are the main ones I read every month. All mainstream stuff. I'm a mainstream comic guy, but I like a lot of independent stuff too. But yeah, it's just nothing like those real superheroes.
Yeah, I actually saw it in a bookstore that Lock and Key. It was a graphic novel before it became a Netflix series.
Oh yeah. I remember
Yeah.
seeing Lock and Key as a comic book, but I don't think I've ever read it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was. Did you see the series?
I haven't seen
It's
this.
worth. It's a good.
I haven't seen the series, but I heard of it. Yeah, I didn't know that was like. I kind of didn't know they were kind of connected. Now that you're telling me, it's like,
Yeah, and actually, ironically enough, I'm saying like, gee, how did this black and white print graphic novel, you know, hit the next step? It
mhm.
turns out that it was cloaked, but that's Stephen King's son wrote it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I
So,
mean,
yeah,
I'm Stephen King's son. What do you have to publish? I'm not
yeah,
going to
right.
publish it. You know?
Yeah,
That's kind of a shit thing, right?
yeah. I could see Vex being a series on maybe if not Netflix on like one of those either Paramount or one of those type of streaming services.
Yeah,
Have you thought about
we
doing that?
actually
Like, do you actually submit these stories to like TV studios or like have you shopped them
we want
around for that?
we want to have it finished first, like the whole completed,
Yeah.
uh, and uh, and then also now Neo Dawn from Committed Comics, Sean also did that all himself. Uh,
Okay.
I edited the third one of it, but a friend of ours, a closer friend to him, is heavily into animation, and he wants to do an animated kind of racing game based on
Mm,
it.
okay.
He said we'll even put both of us in the background,
Yeah. Yeah.
in the background.
Uh
Both of us with our-
huh. Yeah. But
Yeah,
some
that's
of your
good.
art now you're an artist as well, right? Like so you do like you have stuff in do you have stuff in the galleries? I would imagine. I think you have some arts in galleries. Have you done some gallery work?
I was a teaching artist for the Connecticut Artist Initiative, for the Christian Activities Council. I was a teaching artist for the summer program.
Hmm.
Templeton School of Art. I had a course summer of 2009 that was
Yeah.
offered as far as teaching manga writing, but there
Okay.
wasn't enough people for it. But I was in the newspaper thing. I still have my memories, little clips
Hmm.
and stuff. Let's see, I've had in Connecticut, I've had I don't know 15 art shows or
Okay.
so,
Yeah.
galleries in New Hampshire. Some and also photography. That's another thing is
Hmm.
digital art photography.
Okay.
With that, I'm going to be putting up a lot on OpenSea NFTs for a lot of them. I have books on Amazon.
Yeah, I've
There's
seen that.
and so I have those, and then there's of course the lecture stuff.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy those when I sent them to you?
Yeah, I love those. And matter of fact, I was going to tell the audience, if you Google Darryl Kravitz, even Darryl Taylor Kravitz, you'll see that his stuff will come up on Amazon, his books and things like that. And so, get out there and do those Google searches. What about this piece right here? Uh, is this done with acrylics and digital or something, or this is one of what?
That actually is that I did. It was on purple burlap, and it was
Yeah,
called Creation of Thought. And there was a photograph I had with my sunglasses. I have at least about 20 pairs of sunglasses.
yeah. Same here.
Different moods and different
Uh huh.
characters, I guess.
Yeah,
Uh, we actually just I did a transparency with that, and
yeah.
colored it that color. Like you see,
Okay.
it's like the same, almost like the um, Dream Glasses Again cover,
Hmm.
because it has that kind of look to it.
Yeah. So, as far as like, have you ever thought about taking like, obviously you being a good writer, an amazing writer, as a matter of fact, have you thought about writing to your own artwork, like maybe creating like a graphic novel just based on your artwork and writing it as well? Like, I think it might be cool if you did something like where it's all digital and painting and sort of like a story that where the characters are like kind of like that, where they look like that, like kind of like what Dave McKean.
That's
You ever seen Dave McKean's work on? The covers of the Sandman and stuff like that, that style of art. But if you did like a full like comic book series, just like that kind of like stuff, like that kind of graphics, or like with your style of
I'd
it, is it?
like to to send me some of the stuff. But you said I didn't know you inked any comics before.
Oh yeah, I did that.
That was a show.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was with UWS Comics. That was me and Robert Garr. He brought me on board with that. It was Until We Sleep. We did I thought I knew you back in that time. It was like around 2014, 2015. We did some Kickstarters to raise money. We raised about $3,000 to print the books up and send them out. But we just sort of stopped because it was having day jobs. You want to put out a book every month. We were like putting out one every year. So it was like, it just wasn't. It just got sort of tedious after a while. But yeah, I just did the inking though. I wanted to do the penciling, but I'm too slow to pencil. You give me a deadline, I'm not going to meet that deadline. Especially with the day job and everything. It's like I hats off to like those artists who can just crank out a book within like a month. Like those comic book artists who can just meet those deadlines, and that's probably why I never got a job in comic books.
5 pages a day or something crazy like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Now music. Let's get into your music. So you've been telling me for these past couple of years about this play, and I did some guitar work for you. You got a play you're working on. You got a bunch of music you're putting out. What's like? What transition? Like, how did you transition into that, or have you? It's obviously something you've always been doing.
Let's see. I started playing bongos when I was a kid in the '60s.
Yeah.
And actually, because I was on the stage all the time, that I had to understand the cadences of timing as far as routines, as far as acrobatics,
Yeah.
or what have you, and then of course singing. And so I started playing bongos, and then my first string instrument was a mandolin.
Mm-hmm. The mandolin.
Yeah. And then guitar. But I actually had been writing melody lines
Okay.
for a long, because pretty much if you have poetry, then it's logical that poetry is lyrics.
Yeah.
Especially because the cadence and the timing of the rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've been actually I started writing about 11, published at 12,
Mm-hmm.
started art at 17, and music I'd say early 20s.
Okay.
So maybe like about 40 years I've been doing this.
Yeah.
Really great people, especially you.
All right, thank you.
We own. I want to grow up brains, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna play that here in a little bit. The song that we did 2 songs, the Night Hunger and I Want to Grow with Brains. Now, where do those fit into this play that you're talking about?
Okay, One Killer Night is it takes place in 1977.
Okay.
Where there's a school for it's Darkin Academy of Young Women of Science. So they're all genius girls.
Yeah.
And then there's their high school, and this guy Dent is attracted to Amy, and Amy's almost like a groupie for Zach Omby and the Mental Maggots. So what I did was I created all these different bands to replace different bands of the time. Intros, like the background music for this museum scene or what have you. So it really is it's very taxing. Because all the graphics, all of the songs, with the exception of my ex, Empress,
yeah.
To change the thing.
So you have a lot of songs for it then. Is that safe to say you have like a good amount of songs?
About 20.
20? Okay. And I have some songs loaded up. So I got this song here called Take a Bite and Love.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was on the YouTube channel. Like, what is that part of the play?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually all the bands are supernatural, and there's this midnight banquet.
Yeah.
And so it's now Save the Girls.
Okay.
Because now it's needed people in. And
yeah.
Find out that so Zach Omby and the Mental Maggots are zombies.
Okay.
Pony Boys are werewolves.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, so there's all these different bands. Like you had the Bony Boys and and the Bed Bugs. Yeah.
right? The witches are Pixie House.
Okay.
So it's yeah, and so I'm not going to spoil it sort of how it ends, but
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Everybody
it's
dies
really
at the
fun.
end.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, it's kind of how the fun. I'll tell you off air how that ends.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't want to. I don't want to know. Don't spoil it. um, let's play a song. Let's. Okay, we did this song together. I want a girl with brains. Or you sent me the track or whatever, and I put some guitar on top of it and just made it sound. I was going to do the audience thing you were mentioning, but I just couldn't load it up in time. I couldn't figure out how to. I couldn't find a good audience background to use for it. I just need more time to do that. But I could do that. I know you're talking about adding some live where it sounds like it's live or whatever. Which is basically what Kiss did on the live album. They just basically played everything in the studio and
Yes.
just added an audience into it.
Yeah. Cut too from Yellow Brick Road.
Yep, yep. So here we are. We're gonna play "I Want a Girl with Brains" featuring me on guitar, Darryl Kravitz on vocals, and you wrote the song, right? You wrote the whole song.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Melody liner.
I want a girl with brains. Tell the truth and say. I want a girl with brains. I want a girl with brains. I've traveled for miles for the electrical sky. That dream out of my I've traveled for miles, electrical style that drives me wild. That great man of mine. I want a girl with brains. I want a girl with brains. Intelligent and sane. With this brains. I've traveled for miles. Your electrical style. Great man of miles, baby. Great man of miles, baby. Don't need to have money, just like cream and honey. I want a girl with brains. I want a girl with brains. I want a girl with brains.
That was Zach Zombie with Mental Maggots here on KZ Zombie Radio 1994. What's up, man? Yeah, that was cool. Your voice reminds me of the
1977 style of music, like punk.
Yeah, that's definitely 77 punk right there. Yeah, it's definitely also like very garage, like just nasty. That's what I liked about it. It was very just that nasty sound, like boom, 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 to the bass in there. Who's playing the bass on it? Or is that programmed bass?
That was, I think, Hex Instruments. I negotiated with them for a block of songs.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
And so I did like some logos for him.
Yeah, cool.
So,
yeah, just, like I said, it's very, very just. I can hear like just some teenager on his bed, just fucking like. Yeah. Your voice kind of reminds me of like a little bit like I don't know. Can you tell? Is it safe to say that some of your influences could be like Talking Heads, John Byrne from Talking Heads, or David? Is it David Byrne from Talking Heads?
Yeah, definitely.
Because you kind of have that sound in his voice in that song.
because I don't restrict myself to listening to one specific genre of music,
Yeah.
like ska, because ska is like that 1979 to
Yeah.
have the style with the calypso rhythms and
Hmm.
everything. So like I never really got into it. I was like, man, this stuff is really good. It's
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. I like a lot of ska. Like a lot of ska rhythm. I always thought ska was kind of like reggae on crack because it was like very fast reggae, like you know, but cool and melodic. There's a lot of good melodies in that. Yeah.
Yeah, like
So that's
the selector, of course, the specials.
yeah, the specials, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. Everyone knows them. No doubt before they became commercial. Yeah.
Their first album was ska, and then Rocksteady was also ska.
Yeah. And, No Doubt was from Orange County. I remember, being in LA and them just being kind of starting out and stuff, and seeing their names in the clubs, and before they even made it big. I used to see their, stuff in their ads or whatever in all the local magazines. You have this song called, which I found pretty interesting. A song called "Candy Time." Yeah. Is that going to be part of the play as well, or is that just something you've always had or done?
As well, that's in the pivotal scene in the background.
Okay.
Some of the stuff is in the background.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be center. There's no performances on stage, which
Mhm.
means that that would inflate a budget to actually do it that way.
Hmm.
Yeah, Candy Time was a challenge, and if there's any young songwriters or
Yeah.
other songwriters that are looking for inspiration, what you need to do is first of all you have to pick a genre of which one you're comfortable with.
Hmm.
All right, 'cause that's the heartbeat of the song.
Yeah.
Right. It's like if it's a fast beat, it's somebody running. If it's a slow beat, it's a little kid with a 3-wheeler.
Hmm.
Going
Yeah.
slow sidewalk. All right, but you always challenge yourself before the masses test you, and that's a credo that I've always had. A creed that I'm going to challenge myself before the masses test me. So if they say, "Hey, Darryl, can you write this?" Yeah.
Yeah.
How don't you know you can do that? You want to see it right now? I already did it.
Yeah.
So like drama, horror, comedy, science fiction.
Yeah.
I've written all of that. But Candy Time was an experiment. I wanted to challenge myself. Could I write a song about sex and drugs at the same time? So you listen to it once, it's sex. You listen to it the other time, it's drugs.
Oh yeah.
So the analogies you all match. And so
Oh,
that's Candy Time.
oh cool. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, man. That's what it is. I want to play a sample of I want to play a little bit of this Candy Time just to show people like your diversity. Because going from a song like "I Want to Go From Brains" to a song like this, check this out.
When you feel the fever, gotta get the sizzle. When it's hot, it's the only reason for candy time. For candy time. When she stays, you gotta go, and only you would know when it bakes, percolates. For candy time. For candy time. Up and down, all around, make that happy sound. When it's right, up all night. For candy time. For candy time. Don't stop me now. It's candy time. The flame is on, fire is set. Do the dance, time to prance. It's candy time. It's candy time. Time to taste the nectar, buzzing through the foyer. Take a dive, feel alive. It's candy candy time. It's candy time. She says yeah, and when you see it's about to be, yeah, candy time. Yeah, candy time.
Oh, candy time. Yeah.
I saw your head bobbing.
Yeah. All right. Is that so? Who's playing the guitar in that? 'Cause I love the rhythm. Is dun, 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 dun.
My ex-partner.
Yeah.
See, he created this band called the Romeos, like
Yeah.
B-52. They've always been a very big influence for me as well.
Yeah. I was gonna,
So the Rome, if you want to, Rome, R-O-A-M. So
okay.
it's R-O-A-E-I-O, like Romeos.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like Romeos. Yeah. But what's interesting about that song is that what we would do is we would go through a dry run and then we would record.
Yeah.
So going through the dry run and then he stops me. He stops and I said, "What?" And he said, "Well, shouldn't we have a chorus?" I said, "No, there's an energy there. You don't want to break the energy. You just do a little star. Get back into it.
Uh-huh.
You got this energy. You're not, it's all,
Yeah.
And so that it ended up.
That's cool. Yeah. You always want to catch it right there in the moment, like, because if you have to do it again, then it's not going to be the same.
I've done songs like if you had asked me, it's like, "Oh, can you play this song again?" No.
Yeah.
No, I don't even.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put like 50 songs. I might even have more.
Yeah.
That myself, or I code, some key stuff I've written in keyboards, and written in guitar,
Mm-hmm.
bass, and now I have I'm a purist, or like the natural sound of the instrument is more important to me,
Yeah.
rather than a VST or so. So I have my bass, I have my Ibanez electric,
Nice.
which has a book. That's why I haven't been playing it.
Nice.
I have my Ibanez acoustic electric. I have a 5-string De Rosa acoustic bass.
Okay.
Glockenspiel, or a little, what is it called? A xylophone.
Okay.
I have those. I have a lap harp. I have two different harmonicas, one 24 hole and one 10
Yeah.
C. Recorder, a soprano, an alto recorder, and a Irish flute.
Oh, cool.
A little conga drum. So
Yeah.
that's what I want to.
Huh. So so you got this play going on. What's the end game? Do you have like a vision for it as far as when it's going to be released? What else is going to go into it as far as, do you plan on like opening it up somewhere like locally there, or?
Well, what I'm going to do is on DistroKid, I'm going to offer them for sale, the MP3s as those fictitious bands actually being entities where they actually exist.
Okay.
So that people, so the Bedbugs is going to have X amount of songs.
Yeah.
Maggots.
Yeah.
Pixie House, and all of them, and so then generate a flow, and then say, "Hey, it's a musical." It's
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you're going to release each album or each band's songs as a band through DistroKid, through all the different, and it'll be like Spotify, iTunes, and all that stuff like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
because that's the best way to do it. Because then you generate a fan base.
Yeah. Now iTunes, like if you go on Spotify, you people don't really pay for they don't really buy downloads on there. You're basically going to get just royalties. Spotify pays the best, out of all of them, but you're not going to get a lot of money. I mean, you're getting 0.0004 cents a stream, So whereas like iTunes, people could download the song for 99 cents, but most people have a subscription, so they're not going to really spend money on a download. The beauty of it is you want to get that traction, and you want to get those plays and get those streaming. Because the key is to get on people's playlists. When you get on those playlists that are 100,000 listeners, that's like getting around the radio of a radio station that has like 100,000 listeners, and then they're going to like stream your song, and then you're going to get your royalties. the good thing about DistroKid is this is not a plug. I don't work for DistroKid, but here's a little bit of a plug. They're very good at giving you 100% of your royalties. They pay you. I mean, yeah, I mean, they pay you on time. You don't get a lot, but again, like, it all depends on how much your song plays. Like, my music, I've probably made $200 since 2020, but that's $200 that that's lobster dinner. That's a Red Lobster dinner and an electric bill. So within 2 years. But then again, like I said, that's just but if you ever going to press your music on CDs or vinyl, it's the same thing. You got to hopefully you sell those, because it costs you it might cost you $3 to produce a CD, and you're going to have to sell it for 10 to make any kind of money off it, So it's all about just having it out there. That's what I love about the whole distribution thing and streaming. Is me personally, I like physical music, but for my own music, I can't afford to pay for vinyl and CDs. At some point I will, but I like the idea that I could just put the stuff out there without a record label and just have it generate an audience.
You can get a 360 deal and they can just shove you,
Yeah.
And then of course, touring monies. I mean, TLC, when they were like the new flavor of the month of the year,
yeah,
they were bankrupt.
Bankrupt. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, because they, this money on promoting them and trailers and what have you, and they just went back.
Yeah. I remember back in the day, you get that advance money, you got to pay that shit back. I mean, we got a $10,000 advance, and luckily we did make the money back for the label, but we just ended up getting dropped from the label just because the crazy fan base wasn't accepting us as a black metal band. It's a real black metal band. But hey, we did what we did.
Like Living Color.
Yeah, right. Yeah, different kind of black metal. There's a black people metal, and then there's black metal, which is evil and dark, and like they got in the background a bath, the crazy corpse paint and stuff like that. So yeah. So what about as far as do you see eventually seeing this play opening up in a theater somewhere with actors and stuff playing the parts, or have you gotten that far with it?
At the point, because I got to put all those songs up first.
Yeah. You got to get the songs out there, get them generated. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, ended the relationship about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I had my she's 17, and so I got to be there for her. And so single day, but I don't really have anyone to help me, and so you kind of you're all the chiefs and the Indian.
Yeah. Well, I think what'll happen is you just put the music out, because it's basically like a concept album. Like any band that puts out a concept album, there's a storyline behind it. So you're putting out this music with all these different fictional bands, and then eventually someone's going to come along and say, "Wow, I like this concept," and maybe a producer or director will say, "Hey, I want to make this into the play," and they'll get with you, and they'll obviously work out a deal where you guys so
written the songs out there. I did all the graphics, even the graphics for. There's a scene with all of in a gallery, and so the background music I did in Reason. That was I have a couple of songs I did in Reason. 5. About how wonderful that was.
Oh yeah.
5. What is it, 21 or something?
Yeah. What is this one for? This called the Bed Bugs Night Hunger. This is for Night Hunger, right?
Yeah. And it's actually a scarab.
Yeah, that's why I saw that. Yeah. Like a scarab. Yep. Or a June bug.
It looks like a June bug.
Yeah, it could be. Then there's the Bony Boys, Skullduggery. What is Skullduggery?
Well, it's a skull, and it's got the guitar's sunglasses.
Okay, yeah.
It's a Skullduggery.
And their name is, so the name of their album is Skullduggery, the Bony Boys. Yeah. And then, so we got that. Wait, this is the Bony Boys right here, right? Heartless.
Yep, that's another. I designed 4 covers or 3 covers for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I was going to also put.
It's a time period, right? For the kind of album cover designs, too.
Yeah. Yeah, as a matter of fact, so for Death Cryptopia, I'm taking forever to get the music done on it, but I approached you and got the artwork for that. This is what you did for us for Death Cryptopia. Demonium Bellum. That's still in the works, even though it's slow. It's just been. I think you did that for me 2 years ago when we had the 2 songs that we put out, Furious and Death. But it's supposed to be a 6-song album, but we're still going to keep that same album cover and that concept because nowadays people are doing AI stuff. Like all these AI. There's some really good stuff for AI, and it's convenient. But you were doing that shit by hand, pretty much, or just by yourself. Before this whole AI craze came along, you were doing stuff like this. Which if someone were to see this today, they're like, "Oh, would you do that on AI?" It's like, no, Darryl Kravitz did it, man. It's like, so it's like, it's crazy. What do you think about the AI stuff coming along? Especially being a creator and an artist, do you think it's gonna affect you in any way?
I don't think, there's another. There's one thing that it's not going to emulate sort of brushstrokes. I don't think.
Yeah.
Like brushstrokes, like how about a frog spitting out dice, and a unicorn looking lovingly at it.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not going to get this brushstroke or the background. Kind of
that real human like that brushstroke. Yeah. What gets me? What trips me out is what trips me about all of the AI art I see comes out, they can't get the hands right. It'll be like be a cool image, but then the person's hands will be like 6 fingers or 4 fingers and all bent up looking. Like I did that with some of my pictures, and it's like the cool looking picture, like the way I look and stuff, but then my hands are all fucked up looking. It's like, what the fuck?
No, that was funny because I've always messed with your posts. I really enjoy doing that.
Yeah, yours too.
So I went to this concert. This guitar player. He was like the whole show. Ugg. I said, Ugg was there too. Which album?
Yeah. So another song we did together, or like you sent me that you wrote, whatever, and you wanted some guitar on it, was it's called Night Hunger. I was going to play that song. I don't have a graphic for it, but I have the actual audio.
Yeah, the graphic. Night Hunger is the album.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did have the graphic for it. That's the one I just showed. This one right here. Yeah. Okay, so let's put up the graphic, and then then I can just play the audio from that. So let's do that. Let's hear Night Hunger.
I want your blood. Got a night hunger for you. Night hunger, night hunger. Night hunger, night hunger. Maybe it's love, oh baby, I want your blood. Maybe I want you closer then. Maybe we both have that hunger, and I want you to taste it. Never forget it. Got a night hunger, night hunger, night hunger. Got a night hunger, night hunger, night hunger. Come on, baby, it's so easy. It's not difficult. Play in the moonlight, such a delight. Holding you, biting you, savoring you. I know you feel the same way. Got a night hunger. Night hunger, night hunger. Night hunger, night hunger, night hunger. They look at you and see you as just a girl. But you can be my woman in a different world. Oh, I got a night hunger, night hunger.
Yes, I was trying to follow your melody. At sometimes, what I was doing was improvising a lot. So I was doing like how Robert Plant and Jimmy Page does that back and forth with each other. Like, so it's funny because I don't remember like a lot of those phrases I'm doing. I'm improvising. So I hit record and I just play. Like I've always been the kind of guitar player who cannot play my own solos the same way twice because I don't write them out that way. Except for when I did the song with the One Black and those guys, we did One of the Living, which is a Tina Turner cover. We just released that this year. And that's the first time I ever had to take a guitar solo, and actually write it out to where it's like when to play the same solo every time, because that was only because of the chord progression in the background was on that song, which is very kind of generic. So it's like I couldn't improvise a lot. But with that song that you just sent me, Night Hunger, it's such a nice chord progression. I think it's I can't remember if it's in the key of A minor or B minor. It's one of those keys, but it's one of those favorite chord progressions that I like to solo over. So it gave me that chance to just really add some good melodies and just have fun with it, improvise. Yeah.
Because I remember I grew up and I said, hey, I want to have like a Black Sabbath vibe.
Yeah.
That was like my vampires, like they're like the romantic ones, like the Lord.
Yeah.
While the Bony are more, like biker guys,
kind of
street thing. And the zombies are all like for the nerdy girls.
Yeah.
So they're all like Romeos and then a Juliet, which was actually witches that are like whatever that.
I could hear that song. I could hear that song being played in the bedroom while you're doing it with your chick and stuff. You know what I mean? You get the vampire things, and it's like it's very moody. Put on the candles and the candlelight and the roses and the blood.
It's actually a harpsichord. I chose a harpsichord sound.
Oh yeah.
I wanted it to sound like older, like like not like an organ.
Yeah.
Like it sounded like they've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And so like a harp.
The actual vibe actually reminds me of like an early, like I would say, like in 1983. It could be like on a 1983 horror film, like that kind of that soundtrack. Almost. I want to say 1983, 84. Just the way the music sounds, it kind of reminds me of something like I can hear it like on in that era of of music.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to match it if I could for the 77 line.
Yeah,
but
it probably is 77. See, I wouldn't know because for me, when 77, I was 9 years old and I wasn't even really listening to music at that time. I was I was just playing with toys and Star Wars. So a lot of the music I would hear would just be like whatever my parents were playing in the car on road trips or whatever. But hearing back, like, there's a lot of 77. When you talk about 1977, for me, that's Kiss, Black Sabbath and bands like that. But, but and then whatever disco didn't come in until 78, right?
I'm sorry.
Disco?
Disco, yeah. Well, actually, where it takes place 2 weeks before the first Star, after May 25th, I think the first Star Wars movie came out.
Yeah.
Then this happens 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks later, everybody's looking for ice cream suits.
Okay.
This stuff. The whole music industry changed in that. That span. 2 weeks after Star Wars and 2 weeks after this event, disco.
Cool.
So I timed it right there.
Yeah. That's badass. Yeah, I think you got something good. I think you got something really good going on here. I think it's going to really turn some heads once it gets out there. Once you start putting the music out there more. Yeah. I mean, you're like I said, you're a brilliant writer. You're
Darryl, you need to put a single out. I think you should
put a
single out real soon.
Yeah, I keep saying that. Put it, especially for those, either Night Hunger or A Girl with Brains. I mean, those right there could be like a perfect single. Like, I Want a Girl with Brains. I think I could see that taking off pretty good once you start putting that out there. You should do a little video for it if you can find a way to do a video for it. Jake,
Yeah, I mean,
you,
I have. I just have to find out what I'm going to video. What am I going to video though?
I would just do it. A lot of bands are doing the AI thing. I would just do AI video for it. 'Cause I bet if you put in like the description that you want for AI, like do girls with zombie, like brains, it might create some really cool video. You just got to find like a really good AI program that would do it. I was thinking about doing an AI video for one of my songs, just as
If you know of any, PM me on that.
yeah. I'll look around because I've been wanting to do that because I know Queensrÿche they just put out a really cool video with all AI animated and it's came out really good. Like a lot of bands are starting to do that. Unfortunately, it kind of takes the jobs away from people who actually do that kind of work. But if you're on a budget and you don't have a team of animators to be able to do that for you, and if you could do something cool with AI, then why not? I'm not against it like that. As long as you're transparent about it. Like I hate people that use AI and put it out there like, oh, that's me. I did that. I did all that. It's like, no, if you're transparent, like say, oh, like if I put out an AI picture, I'm going to tell people I did this on AI. I didn't paint it. I didn't, play it on a guitar or whatever. I used AI for it. I want to be transparent about it, because it is
I'm not pure. So
it's a cool medium. You just got to be honest about it, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
The,
But sharks swim in the same waters as dolphins.
yeah,
The market say
yep. Very true.
I've
Very
done that
true.
one at sales for 22 years or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a business copywriter, advertising agency.
Yeah.
Had an interesting life.
Yeah. You have. What's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you out of this whole thing in your being a creative genius that you are, and
Huh.
what's been a crazy moment in your life? That,
Well, a crazy moment would be, for example, Sean and I were Merton. We were going to the liquor store
mm-hmm.
and get cigarettes. And so I'm walking down the street, and like maybe like a house down, I find a $20 bill on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
We went back to the liquor store across the street, and I found a $5 bill like 2 hours later. So it was like, so 25 million to one.
Yeah.
A $20 bill at the same time.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
That was like me one time. That was like me back when I was drinking. Like I was walking and I sat in a church. There was like this little church I used to walk by, and it was like it was open to the public, but it was just like a little house church. And I would get drunk and just go in there and sit. And I'm not a believer of God or nothing. I'm an agnostic or whatever. But it's just I felt safe and comfortable there. And then I'm in there by myself, and then some dude just walks in and just gives me $5 and then leaves. And I'm like, that's weird. I wonder if this is maybe there is a God. Maybe he's like wanted me to do something different with his $5, but of course, what I did is I went and bought 2 more beers with it, because being an alcoholic that I was, so, instead of doing something good with it, which maybe God was trying to tell me, you need to turn your life around, take that $5 and turn it into 10 or 20. It's like change your life. But no, I just thought that was a weird.
Tell you what. All right, so I remember with tequila, right? This was when I was like 16 or so.
Yeah.
Like, buying a bottle of tequila with the orange juice, with the grenadine, and we had the glasses and everything. I had an army coat, like my cousin from Germany, so it's like a big thing. You could fit like a 6-pack in the pockets.
Yeah.
Beer, 2 beer, whatever. And so drinking tequila. And so I got so smashed. I was hitting into parked cars and what have you. And so I remember he left. We went over to this girl's house and a friend of mine, and then we were heading back, and he had already left. And so I'm walking, and this guy's walking his dog, and I'm in like all right. So in Jersey at 9 o'clock at night, you're not to be anywhere near the Newark dark area,
Yeah.
of town, because it connected, farther down from where I lived, farther down at the other end of the town. And so this walking his dog, and I said, "Excuse me, sir, you happen to have the time?" He says, "No, I'm sorry, I don't." I picked up my watch and I said, "It's 9:30." And I was just like, I said, "What did I just do?" Right? And I turned, and you still give me a dirty look.
Oh shit! Yeah, man. Yeah. So you got another song.
That was
And there's another song. I think you sent me this part of the play as well, which I was going to play. This is called "Take a Bite" and "Love." Is that what
yeah, I did.
you did?
That
What?
one I did all the instruments. I did the drums. I did the keyboard. I did the vocal.
Okay,
Right.
let's check it out here real quick.
Take a bite. I'm into you, baby. You wanna be my love. You wanna hold on to me forever, baby. Wanna taste your blood. In the scream. It's a dream. I have your heart. You have eternity. Yeah, eternity. What you give back to me is freedom. Loving you, thinking about you, holding you till my dying day.
Yeah, interesting time signature. The way it's like a weird timing, but it's on time. It's just a weird. It makes you like kind of like you want to like this, but then it's like okay. I like it though.
Right?
I think Boney Boys is becoming my favorite band out of all these bands that you have. I like the Boney Boys. Yeah.
Yeah, the Boney. Most of that stuff is the stuff that I did with David as the Romeos. That packaging, I guess.
Yeah.
Some of that, and of course I have Teddy Bear with Claws. I mean, I did that myself.
Oh yeah.
I had
I
a
have that on here.
1954. I had like a 1952 or probably about 52 Korean guitar.
Oh yeah. Wow.
And I had this. It was like a galley size, so it's smaller.
Yeah.
Galley size.
Uh huh.
So I had it up against the wall. I had my computer. This is when I was in West Hartford, Connecticut, and then all of a sudden it went, twang! Like the string just like went, with no one touching it, went, boing!
Oh yeah.
Like, okay. No, we're taking you. You're going away.
Cool.
It just went, bing!
Oh
Okay.
yeah. So what instruments
But
were
I
you
did
using?
6 guitars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say what instrument, what guitars was on that song that we just heard? Like was there a guitar on that, or was that?
No, that was just a keyboard.
That was just a keyboard. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And that conga drum.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to figure that song out on guitar. See where you're playing it at. It's interesting.
You tried? You did try it?
Yeah, so I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it later on and try to figure out in the guitar, the little chords that you're playing there, because it's in my head now. So yeah. Normally I could like.
It's got like a really sound to it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like normally I could hear a chord and say it out loud, like on some things, it just depends on like, I have like that kind of hearing where I can do that on some things, but some things it takes me a little while. I have to like get on my guitar and think around and say, oh, that's where he's playing it. Okay. It's a minor third, it's a minor second. So let's see.
Yeah.
How about this?
I just know what sounds. I know this is a question I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Because we've been wanting to do this for a while. All right, now when you create a piece of music of your own,
Mm-hmm.
do you hear the instruments in your head, or do you get a visual that you're expressing through music?
It's kind of both in a sense. Like if I don't have a guitar on me and I'm working it out in my head, so what I'll do is I'll work it out on guitar or whatever. Like if I have a riff or a melody or something, but then in my head is where I'm constructing it all and putting it together. Like I'm pacing like the verse and the chorus and where I want the solo at. And I'm hearing it in my head as if it's like, and I'm seeing the colors of the tones of the different tones that I'm using, but I'm working out in my head as if it's an actual finished song. And And then when I get that, where I get a good idea, then I'll go back on the guitar, work it all out. And, like, cause I'm hearing what I'm hearing in my head, and I'm transposing onto the guitar or the bass, whatever guitar or whatever instrument I'm going to use. And then I feel comfortable enough with it to where, I'm going to record it now. And that's why sometimes it takes me a long time to get a song done, because I'm constantly trying to work it out in my head as a perfectionist. And I'm thinking, like, that's not right. So I'm moving all these little pieces around and in my head and adding. So once I have an idea of a riff, then I already know what the riff is going to sound like afterwards, and I can work that out in my head and then learn it on guitar.
Okay. I get like for example, if it's well, there's different formulas. There's boy meets girl.
Yeah.
Boy wants girl. Boy loses girl.
Mm-hmm.
Girl loses boy.
Yeah.
Boy wants girl back. Girl wants boy back.
Yeah.
Whatever, and then thematics and have you. So I think when I was like, what I thought was really funny, I had a lot of fun when I first wrote "I Want to Grow with Brains."
Yeah.
Because I knew it was zombie, but I wanted for it. But then it's like brains, because that's.
Oh yeah.
The zombies.
Yeah. Yeah, my problem is I can't write lyrics. I'm not a great lyricist. I mean, it takes me forever to write them, but so I'm always writing just the melody. And then, like, if I have some lyrics by somebody sends me, like Robert Garr or my friend Paul Merrill, whose lyrics I've used for Belladonna, I'm able to, like, create the melody with my mouth, like singing it like blah dee dee da man dee dee da da, like just doing some gibberish or whatever. And then I can work in the words. And if I try to do it where I don't have to change too much of the words. Like if somebody's sending me their lyrics, I don't want to change their words around, but I might have to edit a little bit, just to make it fit the melody and without losing the actual message of the song. And so, but I'm trying to get better at writing lyrics, because right now, like, I'll come up with a line and I'll think that's a cool line and it fits with the song. Now where do I go with it? So then I'll just start adding lines based on the gibberish that I'm singing. So I never really know what the song is going to be about until after it's done. Like Warmonger, when I did Warmonger, I just had the couple of lines like soldiers dying in the whatever. I was inspired by the guy who got the terrorist that got caught in that cave when the dog went in and caught him. And so I come up with like one line, and then I just started adding lines to it. And then it just became like, I thought, okay, I'll make this song about people who are addicted to war, like warmongers, like those generals, and, war for money and profit. And because that's just where the lyrics were going. I didn't even know until I got finished with the song that that's what it was going to be about. I can't sit down. I'm going to write a song about this or that, and then it'll never come out like that, like for some reason. So it's weird how my brain works, I guess.
That I'm working on, I have to record it. It's called Love and Truth. Okay, Love and Truth. Right? So Love and Truth will dance for eternity. So I'm picturing a dance like a dance thing, because it's like end love's cause. And mistrust can destroy, and a half truth is a lie. Love and truth will dance for eternity.
Oh, nice.
What is it? Love, one below, one above.
Oh yeah.
Truth will dance for eternity. And it's like, and love causes tear-stained eyes when love is denied. Because love and truth will dance for eternity. So it's like a dance step,
yeah.
But it's original because that's love and truth.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Now this song, I do have the song. You were talking about Teddy Bear with Claws. That's an interesting title. It's by the Boney Boys as well, right?
Yeah, I did that on that Korean guitar.
Okay, we're gonna hear it real quick here.
Yeah, I love you, and you love me. You call me your teddy bear, and I wanna cuddle you as much as I want you and you want me. A fantasy come true, but I have to tell you, it's not a lie. But if any other man tries to play you behind my back, I got claws, baby. I got claws, baby. Yeah, I got claws. I got claws. I'm a teddy bear with claws. A teddy bear with claws. A teddy bear with claws. And I'm not gonna deal with anything or anyone. A teddy bear with claws. And you know, it's kinda strange. We cuddle together and it's all the same. I found the love of my life in you. But what's a man to do? You're my teddy bear. My teddy bear. I'm your teddy bear. If you scraped your knee, I'd cry all night and put a band-aid on it and kiss it real tight, 'cause I love you. But there are these other cats that try to play you. They don't know me very well, and
Nice. Teddy bear with claws. That's metal. That's brutal right there.
I'm a different Santa Claus. That's actually
Yeah.
the lyrics.
Right now, a song like that. So, you writing? You already had the lyrics written before you did the music, or or did you already have the lyrics and then you put the music to it?
Just like when I did Deeper Oceans,
Yeah,
and that's like I Make My Move on You became Make My Move on You. So I didn't have the lyrics in front of me, and I just ad-libbed,
Yeah.
because I guess because on the stage, whatever, there's no dress rehearsal.
yeah.
You just got.
That's what it sounded like. It sounded very natural, like as if you were like, like how rappers freestyle and stuff. How they just able to just pop stuff off the top of their head. That's a gift right there. Yeah, I totally it trips me out when I see some of those rappers who can, like, when they freestyle and they're like doing those. I love watching those rap battles where they battle against each other and just come up with crazy stuff right on the spot. I'm thinking, how the hell you do that? It's like, yeah, I guess you just gotta have that vocabulary that I don't have.
See, I started when I started writing when I had a thesaurus, Anthony Synonym dictionary.
Yeah,
Bedtime reading in it, like love or say like pulchritude, or let's say blue, turquoise,
okay.
cyan.
Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to
Oh,
study the thesaurus, whatever it's called.
I thought it was something about dinosaurs actually.
I know, right? It's like a thesaurus, dinosaur. Yeah, it does sound like it would be a dinosaur. Probably used to be. Maybe that's what they named it after. The thesaurus. I can never say it. Thesaurus. Or thesaurus is dinosaurus. Something like that. Man.
Or did you remember a piece of art? It said dinosaurs.
Oh yeah. I think I saw that.
Yeah, so it was like ouch, ouch, ouch.
Oh yeah. Well, Darryl Kravitz, man, thank you for doing this show. That was the first episode of In the Chamber. This is a special episode because it's the first episode. My first guest, your first guest on it. So when we look back on this in 100 years, it'll be like the history in the making of you being my first guest on this particular series that I'm doing. So it's always an honor and a pleasure. Where can we find? So at the moment, like, before you put your stuff up on Spotify, where can people find your stuff at? As far as like, if they want to check out some of your art, they want to check out your music.
Well, my books are on Amazon.
Okay.
It's the Scoobies are out there.
Yeah.
You go to Scubapedia.
Yeah.
And, my name and then it'll show you which issue.
Yeah. That's right.
And I'm going to be offering some of my original paintings because I have, I don't know how many, 50 here.
Yeah.
least, because of what we talked about.
Yeah. Don't you have a? Do you have a Facebook page showing all of your artwork? I think you have a. Don't you have an art page on Facebook?
I used to. I
I
mean,
was
I had
thinking you
one. I
did.
had like 5, but I dumbed it down because of what the situation I was dealing with. So so I had like 5,000 3 times.
Yeah.
I hit 5,000. I hit 5,000 more, and I said, "Am I really going to mess with these people? Like who are these people?" And
Yeah.
so like different people I respected and I've known and I messaged with and I talked to,
Yeah.
and so it's like it's a very cut down crew. But all these people are professionals and have high respect for their work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Stephen but I know him, but I don't know him as well as like Rebecca O'Donnell. I know over here.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And just so everyone knows, I'm going to put all the links. I'm going to put the links in the description of the video. When people watch this on YouTube, they'll be able to click on links to to the Scooby thing, and also like to your YouTube channel and things like that, and so and other links.
Yeah. I have to do some really because of everything I have to deal with. So it's now it's the time. I'm like now I got to do all this.
Yeah.
There's no wiggle.
That's how I look at it, man. We got to leave our legacy behind. We got the internet. Now we like when we're long gone, our stuff is going to be still out there, like on the internet. People just be able to find our stuff, like long after we're gone. You know what I mean? So we didn't have this like 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
All vibration with Tesla 369. Tesla.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Everything vibrates.
Yeah. I look at it like this. Even if there's like just 5 people watching or 1,000 people watching, it doesn't matter. There's always, if that one person that, if you could sort of create a feeling or an emotion in one person with what you do entertainment wise, then you've already made it. Like to me, that's like making it. Like if somebody comes up to you and says, you know what, I watched your one thing, I listened to your song, and that really did something for me. And it could be somebody you don't even know. Like it's not your relatives, it's not your friends, it's not family or whatever. It's just some stranger comes up to you and says they heard what you did and they liked it. To me, that's making it. It doesn't have to be a million people. It's got to be just that one person.
Also, you had said something that was really interesting. I didn't realize because I had asked you to send me the podcasting.
Yeah.
My ex going woo woo woo, and I'm like, really knocked the focus off and what have you. So
yeah,
that was really messed up. However, the one thing that you said was that you heard you saw the documentary, and that helped you to start doing all of this.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that helped. That inspired me to sort of get out of my, I guess you could say, slump I was in a little bit. Just being newly sober. Obviously, 2020 happened with COVID and this and that, and just be able to like say, okay, I got to do something. And yeah, that was very inspiring. That documentary. Matter of fact, I'm going to put that in the description of the YouTube video as well. I should have pulled that up for the show. I don't know why I didn't do that, but people get out there. What's it called again? I mean, it's been so long since I watched it, but what's the title of it?
Behind the Ink.
Behind the Ink. Yeah. So get out there and check out Behind the Ink.
Because I did the lectures. I did a lecture in Brooklyn. I did 3 of them in Brooklyn at Stratosphere Studios.
Yeah.
And the first one was thinking out of the box. No, think behind the ink.
Yeah.
Which my concept was like, what is the thought process of creativity?
Okay.
Like you're I guess a massive comic collector. You got that many boxes, right?
Uh-huh.
So, all right. So as a comic reader, what was the idea, or before it was actually written and drawn? What was the concept? Like who came up with it?
Yeah.
How did they come up with it? So like in other words, like the going behind the backstage of creativity of how to think creatively, and then thinking out of the box was also the same.
Okay.
Like it was a little bit more, and then marketing your magic was like how to approach the market with it.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Yeah. Behind the Ink. Darryl Kravitz has wise words. The man's a renaissance. He's a legend.
Legend again.
He's a legend, yeah. And we finally got an interview that works. We did my old podcast called the Eric D. Fulmer Podcast Show. we had some issues with that. Especially connectivity issues and a few interruptions.
And then the brothers thing, we had an issue too.
Yeah. And then with we tried to get you on the Gen X brothers, and which I'm hoping that show comes back with my brother. He's taking some time off of that stuff, so that's why I'm just doing this on my own, doing it. So I might have him back on every once in a while, but we tried to get you on that, but we're having some really bad connection issues, and because you live way up in the North Pole, man.
No, it's like I said, I can hear you right here. It's like, oh, they probably got that computer from Radio Shack or something. Like,
that's what. We're like totally ripping on you, like, man, this dude's probably got a freaking.
Really.
Yeah. That's why we were saying that. So hopefully, maybe you could hear it. Like maybe you'll jump in and say, "No, fucker, man, you get this from Radio Shack." I got it from Walmart. Yeah, cool, man. So it's been a pleasure, brother. Thank you for doing this. Man. We're gonna cut it short. Or not really cut it short. We've been on an hour and a half already, man. Hell yeah. Where does time fly, man? Shit. That's like, we first start this, I'm thinking like, okay, where's this gonna go? It went to some really nice places. We covered some good ground. And then here we are, almost an hour and a half later, and
Well, we've talked for hours before. It's very conversational because we know each other.
And I want to have you on again. Definitely, we're going to look at some other guests. I know you mentioned the Flushing Queens. I'd like to get Flushing Queens on here. We did them. We had them on
John.
We had them on the Gen X brothers. The only problem is we had some audio issues with that too, like video issues. We were able to get them on audio, but we couldn't get them on video. So
is he still in New York City, or is he still in Queens, or is he in Florida?
Yeah, I think so. They got such a unique sound. That's why I was telling John, like, you guys, you're gonna take off eventually. They just need the right marketing, but because they got their own sound. Like, I think they can.
I like their sound.
I think they can create their own genre of music. To tell you the truth, it's like if it was.
You want to get him upset? Say something bad about a Dan Electro guitar.
Oh yeah, the Dan Electro. He loves those old style guitars.
John did like 3 pinups on my first issue at Chassis.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, cool.
He was part of the studio. Him, and then Louis Small Jr.
Yeah.
Lou and I are close. We've known each other for years.
Oh, cool.
Years and years.
Yeah, because John was like really big.
We were supposed to do something. Actually, he had to go to North Carolina because his one of his parents was like in hospice.
Yeah,
and so his assistant, because he had everything, I think, in New York or New Jersey, stole all his artwork.
Oh, well, damn, shit.
And we were working on a project, and he had did the pencils on those.
Oh, really? Damn.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. I love his art, man. I didn't know, even before I even knew he did music. I was always into his art, but when I first had him on Facebook as a friend, didn't get to know him too well till later on, but and then now he's doing the music and stuff, and it's like, wow, he's got such a unique John.
Wife. I didn't even know John did music either.
Yeah, and him and his wife doing it, and apparently the stuff he's had, he's wrote the music a long time ago, and some of the songs, but he's writing new songs, and such a unique sound.
It's a band called Wolf Band when we were.
Oh yeah. Okay. Huh. At the time. Yeah, I guess we'll get into all that once I get him on this show eventually, and so it's gonna be cool. We're gonna definitely, like I said, I want to do the metal block is all about metal and gothic and everything, and then I got Into Chamber is going to be more about just anything and everything, all different styles of music. And I want to have you on again. I want to do the hot chip challenge with you. I know you probably won't do the hot stuff, but maybe you could watch me burn my ass off when I hit 800 subscribers. I'm going to do this. It's called the Duel, and it's supposed to be the hottest. It's supposed to be even hotter than that one chip that's supposed to be out. I got it sitting in my kitchen. It's just looking at me like. So when I hit 800,
hot sauce thing.
Yeah. So when I hit 800 subscribers, which I'm only like 20 away, I'll have you on and you can coach me through it. Maybe we'll do some like Q&A or something while I'm burning my mouth up or something.
Okay.
I'll figure something out fun for it.
Yeah. Hey man, and actually, if you want me to be on, as far as also in a show with somebody else, and
as a co-host,
co-interview or otherwise.
I would love that. All right, my brother.
All right,
it's been real. Keep doing what you're doing. We want to see more. I can see big things. I know it's like you've already had big things, but I can see bigger things. And
thank you.
And so definitely, we're gonna definitely do this again. All right, so everybody, thank you for watching. Again, check out Darryl Taylor Kravitz. Google his name. You'll also see the descriptions and the links in the description of the video. I'm going to put all the links I can in there. His Amazon, his YouTube, his Facebook, whatever. All of his stuff. You can find stuff on Darryl Taylor Kravitz, and look out for that. What's it called? One night. The play.
Night.
One Killer Night.
One Killer Night, because it's the 70s. It's like
the 70s. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna be killer, man. You gotta cut this. It's gonna be killer concert.
Killer, man.
One Killer Night.
Yeah. We could have, or it could have been One Groovy Night. It's gonna be groovy, man.
Right.
That'll be the sequel. One Groovy Night. Yeah. All right, man. You be well. And
all right, Eric, we'll talk soon, man.
Yes. Peace out.
Peace.